Let's talk more about this then with the Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi, who's with us in studio on News at Prime. A very good evening to you, Premier.
Thank
you for coming in. So, the wardens will be doing quite a bit in the fight against crime in Gauteng. Let's step back for a moment and talk about what the parameters of their work will be exactly.
Well, for now, it's just a force multiplier, just to give an additional boost to the law enforcement agencies, from the traffic police to the actual police, the SAPS, or any other law enforcement agency that need their support. They're in training. They're still continuing their training, so they can do the basics, obviously under supervision. They can do searches. They can also arrest, but where needs be, they can enforce bylaws and ensure that there is peace and tranquility in our communities.
Given that this is a support role, does that imply that wherever they go, they will have to be there in the presence of members of the SAPS because they are not police?
Yes. That will be in the next, until the next 2-3 months, because they need to be under supervision until they've got the necessary skills and they're equipped with the necessary resources to be on their own. But for now, they're an extra support to the law enforcement agencies, and they've done well. I mean, they came into effect from the 1st of May, but they've managed to arrest people. They've managed to get those that are selling drugs. They've also managed to recover stolen cars and other important equipment that were stolen from our communities.
If they're not police, how are they able to conduct raids and make arrests?
The law applies for that.
How? Let's explain that, because there's bound to be confusion with how this plays out in the coming months.
Well, there is a section there within the Criminal Procedure Act that empowers people to be what we call peace wardens, which simply means they can arrest and they can also represent us in court if they have to provide the necessary evidence. So we are using that particular law. But because they are still in training, that is why they are working with the police. As soon as they get the necessary skills, the talent, the equipment, they will be on their own and they will enforce the law.
What is still outstanding from that training that they now need to receive before they can go, shall we say, independent?
Well, there are 3 critical areas. Obviously, they need to get the necessary certificates, which are issued by the SAPS, so they are waiting for those certificates to be issued. Secondly, they have to go through proper training, especially for weapons and other tools that they might need to use. And thirdly, which is very, very important to us, is what we call strategic intervention. For example, they have to protect against land invasion. They also have to protect our communities in the situation where there either mass protest or any other form of public order that they need to do. So they still have to go through some intense training. But their training is ongoing. As I'm speaking to you now, the others that are already in the firearm training school, they've been taught to do that. We've already also welcomed almost 150 that have qualified already. They've got the certification, which simply means that we can give them ammunition as soon as we get the necessary paperwork. So it's an ongoing aspect, but they are a force multiplier. You know, communities complain, people mark them, they take their phones. Our communities were complaining that they can't walk freely to either taxi rank or train station. So now they can walk freely because this force is there to protect them.
But there are only, at this stage, close to 6,000 of them, and given the length and breadth of Gauteng, that still won't be enough, will it?
No, they are. That is why we went to 6,000. We didn't thumbsuck the 6,000 number.
How do you station them? How do you then come to the calculation of 6,000, and how do you decide, let's say, for example, 20 go here, 100 go there?
Yeah, they are ward-based. Simply means each and every ward must have a presence. So we subdivided all our wards, especially the wards that are in the townships, informal settlement and hostels, because that's where we don't have any form of policing. You know, your suburbs, either you've got the private security firms that are patrolling there. In the townships, we didn't have anyone that was protecting and defending our community. So we have subdivided them per wards. Wards are not equal. There are others, they've got huge land space. There are others that are congested. So we've allocated them, we've allocated cars to them, we've allocated drones, we've allocated helicopters. We've also given them the necessary communication system in case they need backup. So they are quite a good force that can be deployed anyway, even including public events. I mean, last time they were at Loftus Stadium during the Nedbank Cup because they're protecting people there. Where people are gathered, we feel that they need to be there so that they can protect the assets of our citizens.
The intervention has been welcomed by many communities who have been saying that they feel as though they're under siege from criminals, right? But whenever there's a new set of people, boots on the ground, if you will, set out or sent into communities to fight crime. You'll remember there was a time when Amaberete, the TRT unit of the police, was widely welcomed. People said they were doing well, but things quickly took a turn with the tactics that were being employed. How do we ensure that with these 6,000 wardens, that they don't become a problem themselves in the law enforcement space where they perhaps overstep? And I come back again to the distinction between them and the SAPS.
To be quite frank, that's our fear. That is why ongoing training is the only ammunition that we have, but also collective work, so that they don't work as individuals. And also moving them from one area to another, so that they don't get used to a certain area, but also strict supervision, so that those that are working with them can supervise them closely and strictly, so that they don't do all those things. And that's the main reason why we felt we didn't need to supplement the police, we didn't need to supplement the traffic laws, we need to create a new force. Because South Africans have raised their reservations about the current law enforcement agencies. They believe that they're easily corruptible, they feel that they're not sympathetic, they're not attending to their issues as quickly as possible. And that's the reason why we felt that let's have an independent but part of law enforcement agency that is new, dynamic, that is marshaled by young people. I mean, all the people that are there are less than the age of 35. So it's a new force that is still need to be guided and be supported. How
thorough is the training?
It is. I mean, people feel that 3 months is not enough, right? But if you check some of the security firms that are deployed in our communities, they don't even spend 6 weeks. We really believe it was thorough. But training is ongoing. We needed to disperse them as quickly as possible because crime was going out of hand. So what we are doing, group by group, they go back to training. As I said, there was a team that have just graduated now from the firearm training. There's the one that is going for public order training. And there will be the other one that will go for strategic training, especially against land invasion and other related matters. So training is ongoing, but I'm quite convinced these young ones are capable to protect and also to shield citizens, especially people of Gauteng.
I'm not sure the extent to which this is happening, but I'd imagine because this is a new thing, you will ultimately have to introduce these men and women to the communities. So it's not a foreign thing where one day people go to bed and then they wake up with these new uniforms on the streets, so to speak.
Fortunately, they've been there. They've been introduced because the recruitment went through local councillors, local community structures, and also we're biased to people that were community patrollers. These are the people that were doing this job free of charge. Now that they're recruited to do this work, they are rewarded, they are known in their communities. But indeed, you are right. We need to work with communities so that communities are quite aware. The exciting part is that they've already been given nicknames and other things, which means communities are welcoming them.
Panyaza is one of them that's been used.
I don't know that one, but I know the green jacket, green police.
Let me ask you about something else. Just away from this, it's been a tumultuous, first few months for you, as far as what's been happening, especially at local government level in Gauteng. People are saying that unless these metros, Joburg, Tshwane, Ekurhuleni, run properly, much of what even provincial government is aiming to achieve in terms of making Gauteng a better province for all to live and work will not be achieved. Are you satisfied, as things stand tonight, that there's finally a level of stability that is conducive to that goal across the metros?
Indeed, we've gone through turbulences, but I can assure you, as a premier of the province, I've met with all the executive mayors last week. We spent almost a day together, and I got an assurance that indeed things are stabilized now. Tshwane as a mayor, and we congratulate that mayor. Johannesburg as a mayor, we congratulate that mayor. And Ekurhuleni as a mayor. And I doubt there will be changes in the next few months or so, because I think all political parties are quite aware that those that are in charge of this municipality should be given the space and the latitude to govern. And they are doing that. Indeed, there were disruptions, but now I think things are stabilized. Unfortunately, the biggest thing is the cholera outbreak in Hammanskraal. I must be honest, it breaks my heart. It's a disease that we don't have to have it during this century, especially in an advanced or or technologically advanced city like Gauteng or Johannesburg. So it hurts me, it pains me, but I'm appreciative of the support of the municipality, the health minister, and the presidency. They've been giving us the necessary support. But I want to extend my sincerest condolences to those that have lost their loved ones. It's something that I fail to explain. It hurts me that during this period in time, we still have people that are dying out of cholera. It's just unexplainable, and I think we must find a way of arresting the situation. Now that the numbers are back and increasing again, it honestly pains me, and we're doing everything within our powers to ensure that we arrest the situation.
Do you endorse the view of the ANC Secretary General, Fikile Mbalula, that basically the Hammanskraal water crisis is a problem, a DA creation? It's the fault of the DA. Is that an honest reflection?
I'm not on the finger-pointing situation. I'm on the side of those that are weak and going through that pain. We can point a finger to whoever, but will it bring people that are dead? No. Will it bring the end to cholera there? No. We just need to be sympathetic to those that are going this pain. If people are scared to drink water because they might die, it's something that has to make all of us to stop doing whatever that we're doing and protect that community. And where I stand, I really feel that we need to protect that community. And the sooner we establish where this cholera comes from in that area, the better. The mere fact that we don't even know by now, it's almost 4 weeks, worries me big time. And I've asked the team to appoint experts and specialists who specializes in cholera, so that we can go there and just establish where it comes from, so that we can nip it in the bud. But if you have to point fingers who did what, who didn't do what, please don't count me. I really feel.
And it's also awkward, isn't it, with the political finger pointing? Because yes, the ANC runs majority of municipalities, the DA runs a fair share, but with both parties, you could go to any community in any province in the country and find communities with a similar problem to Hammanskraal, where people will tell you that the water infrastructure has been absolutely destroyed and that they don't feel safe drinking the water. So it's a bit awkward for one side to be throwing stones from a glass house.
Temigile, maybe South Africans don't know. You know, there's one municipality in the entire South Africa that is run by the DA and the ANC. And that municipality is Tshwane. The executive is run by the DA, and the council is run by the African National Congress-led coalition.
So equally to blame?
So not necessarily. That is why I don't want us to blame. I want us to find fault, establish where the problem is, and resolve and save lives. If we can't move with speed to save lives and want to move with speed to blame other people, I don't think that we are finding the solution. The community there is under siege, honestly, and they need us, and they need us to protect them. And I'm more willing to protect them, and I'm more willing to give them necessary support. And I'm glad that we are releasing all the resources that we have at our disposal to go and protect that community.
But there's ultimately, Premier Ben, a failure to protect people of Hammanskraal, because the water problems there go beyond the period of 10 years when you speak to some residents. Some say, in fact, for as long as they've lived there, there's always been an issue to do with clean drinking water and water and sanitation more broadly.
I don't want to dismiss those sentiments, but the reality is that people are dying now. So do we spend time in finding where this cholera comes from, or do we spend time in blaming whoever that needs to be blamed? And I can tell you, it's not the ruling party that was running that municipality during that time, but does it assist me? But there's a time that the ruling party was running there. Does it assist
And
us?
even then things weren't great.
So we just have to find where this cholera comes from. That's my preoccupation. Any other thing, it's secondary.
Could the province have been better prepared? Because, yes, now over 20 people have died from this outbreak in Hammanskraal, but there had already been news of cholera circulating in the province before then.
We have a limited space in coming to running of water affairs as a province. That's the terrain of national government and local government. But we can't fold our arms, and that's the reason why we've acquired experts to guide us and find where this cholera comes from. If we can know where it comes from, they're easier. And I'm glad that the National Minister of Water and Sanitation, Minister Mkhunu, has also gave us the necessary support that we need. But let's find where it comes from. Okay. And if we do that, we'll be in a position to save lives.
Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi, thank you so much for coming in tonight.
Thanks for your time. Truly appreciate it.